I'm kind of in panic mood and can't get out, but also can't get it. Helpless or disempowerment, as you call it, is controlling me, but it is protected by thoughts and tensions, and there seems to be no way out of it. It seems to be totally helpless, hopeless. Can you help me? I can try. So inside your body, so something's happened, most likely in the flow of things, but maybe you're not conscious of what that thing was, which has triggered hopelessness in you. It might have been something so tiny, or it might have just been a thought popped up, but it triggered a feeling of hopelessness. So hope is a pleasurable feeling, the hope that one day you'll arrive at something, but hope has the other side of hopelessness. Hope can also be a big seeking energy. You hope that you're going to make it to the other side. You hope you're going to become enlightened. And the other side of hope is hopelessness. So when you go into the sense that you're never going to make it, that nothing's ever going to work out for you, that you're always going to be stuck. And this is a very uncomfortable feeling. And so something might have triggered you, and it seemed overwhelming to you, and the feeling in your body came up of hopelessness. For me, hopelessness arises in my solar plexus, and that's traditionally in the chakra centers where it's taught to be. Hopelessness is in the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is also about choice and empowerment and making decisions, but it can also be this sense of hopelessness. So just put your attention, your personal attention, into the hopelessness. Don't know what triggered it. It's foggy, disconnected from feelings. So just move your attention into your solar plexus then. Just trust me and let's just go with it. And the personal attention there. So notice that there's something conscious of that personal attention. So you can move the lens to the outside world, to a sound happening outside, to the tip of your finger, to your nose, to your thoughts, and you can move it to your solar plexus. But there is a consciousness conscious of all of that. There's something that registers it all. Sometimes we think the personal attention to the movement of the lens is the big consciousness, but something knows that movement. So that's not you. And that movement of the personal attention comes with the story, I did it. But just recognize that that's a story arising too. And actually the movement of it is quite mysterious. But that's okay for the story to arise that you did it. So just move it, and if it feels like you moving it, just move the attention into that area. It's sometimes easier to shut your eyes as well. Notice the stories going on, there's thoughts going on about it, but just go into that feeling. Allow it to come up. and stay with it. And see if you can capture any thoughts that are arising with it. I'm stuck. I hate this. I don't like it. Why am I feeling hopeless again? It's hopeless. I'm never going to be able to do it. I'm never going to get enlightened. Just see if you can capture those thoughts. And notice that they come and go in your experience. So there is an experiencer that's still and present. And these thoughts come and go, and the feeling comes and goes in the experiencer. And the experiencer is free of them, otherwise they wouldn't be able to come and go. The experiencer doesn't contain any of them, doesn't own any of them, but yet they come and go in the experience. And then there's a voice in your head screaming and shouting about it, and there's something that's conscious about all of that. So now we're going to try and balance that feeling. So he said, not many thoughts there, just numbness. It can't just be numbness, otherwise you wouldn't have been able to identify it as hopelessness in the first place. Your mind's playing tricks on you. Maybe you think it's like, maybe that's how you describe hopelessness, as a numbness or a cut-offness, as a deadness. But okay, so you don't have many thoughts there. I think you do, but you're not conscious of them. There are some thoughts arising. There's something you feel hopeless about. Thoughts are mostly unconscious. But there's something you feel hopeless about. Some main subject, if it's work, thinking about work tomorrow, or something. So now we're going to just balance that feeling out a bit. So go into the feeling, and I want you to ask it, or not even it, but just ask yourself, what is it I want right now? If I could have anything, if I could open myself up to infinite possibilities, what is it I want right now? Don't take off any caps. So it could be totally insane, the idea. It can be totally far out there. What is it that I want right now? Peace, maybe. I want you to say, not maybe, I want you to be really convicted, this is what I want. Just keep looking until you find something that you really want right now. Anything. You can have anything, no limitation. I want to be dead. So there were thoughts there. It's okay, you want to be dead. So this is actually not as negative as it sounds. What you want to be dead is the suffering you. You don't want to live. And what don't you want to live? What is it? What about life do you not want to live? So let's just be really honest. What is it that you don't want to experience anymore? Because that's when we want to die, it's because there's something in life we don't want to experience anymore. It takes sometimes seconds to answer because my stream isn't in time. I'm ahead of you. Which one is real? Your experience or my experience? But I'm ahead in time. Just joking. Being a banana. I live in prison. I'm a prisoner of my thoughts and pains. So that's not an answer to my question. What is it you don't want to live anymore? So just say that. What is it you don't want to live? So I got to a stage where I came to this point where I didn't want to live anymore when I was seeking. And it took me time to realize that I didn't really want to kill myself. There were things that I didn't want to experience, and I didn't know how to deal with them. It was so heavy, these things, and I thought about them, that it made me want to end it. So really, when you're wanting to die, and it's good if you admit it, what you're wanting is to not experience something in life, in the flow. And I don't think we should be as scared as admitting this when it comes up. Often it takes us ages to admit these things of I want to die, because I've known for a while and I've worked with him, so I know it. I've seen him when he goes into these big sufferings. And it's not something we want all the time. It's something happens and then life feels too overwhelming, and that's our way of dealing with it. So I want specifics about why you want to die. What you don't want to experience. It's the pain of helplessness that feels like dying. I don't want to feel. And what is it that makes you feel helpless? What in this life makes you feel helpless? I want a list of things. I feel helpless about love, I guess. I cannot have fear. I cannot not have fear and hate when you're in love. It's too overwhelming, your feelings. Psychologically, it's obvious that that's going to be something difficult for you, is your relationship with your mother. So you want to be able to love, to truly love someone. What does that make you feel when you say that? I want to be able to truly love someone. See, at the moment, what's happening in you is your mind is telling you it can never happen, and you want it, but it's saying it can never happen. It's always going to go bad. You might not be conscious of it. This is more than likely, I can't guarantee. We're not speaking. It's never going to work. And then your body's in agony because it's what your body wants. I actually just want to love myself. Yeah. I mean, that's the loving yourself and loving the other is the same thing. You can only truly love yourself in presence. You can only truly love another in presence. You can't actually love something in time, because who you are, your sense of you, and your feelings are always changing. So you'll be with someone and then you can be feeling in love, then you can be feeling angry with them, frustrated. So all your feelings about someone, your ideas about them are constantly changing, so you can't love from that perspective. But you can love from presence, because presence is always here, and presence is love. Who you are is love. This instant is love. But at the moment, you're seeking for presence in a relationship, or you're seeking for presence in life. And then when you have a relationship, there's too much intensity of feeling there, and so it blows up. You fear you're going to lose them. You fear you're not going to be enough for them. You dislike certain qualities about them, and it becomes very intense. That can only become that intense from the identification with the person and believing that love, presence, comes from time. Your love comes from here. Love is your nature, is your essence. And then on the bodily human level, your body wants a relationship. It wants intimacy with another. It wants to connect with another. And that's really beautiful. And that's not something that's bad. That's what your body wants, is connection, is intimacy, is sexuality, is friendship. But the seeking energy comes in and makes it all too intense. So right now, you see that dynamic, what's going inside of you, and acknowledge what you want is, on the human level, you want partnership. And on the human level, you don't really want presence. You only want presence because you realize it will make you better in relationship. On the human level, you want presence. You want a relationship. So acknowledge that, and realize that when you become in line with your wants and focus on your wants, it will begin to happen, and that's all you need to do. So I want a relationship with love, and you just need to put the attention there and trust that that will happen. At the moment, you're in massive distrust. You believe it will never happen, and by that, you're pushing it away. You're making it not happen because all your energy is on it won't happen, it's not going to happen. So just move to, I want love, and I want a relationship that's filled with love. So just acknowledge that. And then as your energy begins to balance, then come back to see that you are this presence. You are this I am presence. I cannot have fear and hate. Yes, I actually just want to love myself. I know that I cannot live in a relationship at the moment, so I forbid myself this. I can't. It would get even worse, I know. Okay, so I want to be peaceful in a relationship, so just change it to that. So the acknowledgement that you don't want a chaotic or hellish relationship, you want to be peaceful in a relationship. That's all you need to do. You don't even need to say, I forbid myself and I can't, it'll be terrible, it'll be da-da-da. You just put in that statement and trust. I want to be peaceful and loving in a relationship, and trust that. I want a relationship where I can be peaceful in nothing, and forget about all these can'ts and forbid and it will be terrible. Just when that thought comes up, just move your attention back to, I want love, and I want to be peaceful and loving. And then see, and then let that thought pass, and see that you are, this is. And then when you have that, when you say that wanting what you want, it feels expansive, not so seeking. And then use that to come back to I am. I can't, it would get even worse. No, I can't even think of a relationship. So you're carrying around this story. You're this big problem. You can't even have a relationship. You're too identified with that. I'm not suggesting you do have a relationship. I'm just suggesting you put the want out there. My whole body says no, no way. You're identifying with this story that you're this big problem, and this is why you're feeling so much hell. I'm not suggesting have a relationship. I'm just saying put the want out there. And put the want that you want it to be peaceful and loving. And that protects you from being chaotic in a relationship. That's all I'm suggesting, and just putting it out there. You're not this big problem. I am this problem, and I can't guarantee that no one will die in a relationship with me. That hatred for the other comes from the identification with the person. That's why the hate comes up, because you feel like they can take something so precious away from you. It makes you feel powerless and out of control. So just see all this. I'm not suggesting you do have a relationship. I'm just saying to let your body sing what it wants. And then when the time is right, it will come. I want a loving and peaceful relationship. You're identified with this idea of yourself. That you're a monster in some way, or you're bad in some way, or you're difficult in some way. And it's not true. Who you really are is presence. And the body's maybe got some difficult conditioning. But trust. Trust, if you ask for the peace of the personality, it will come. I want a peaceful personality. I want to merge with love. I'm especially identified with my pain, and it might kill people who come too close to me. Yeah. I don't know, we even talked about this, maybe we need to do a one-to-one session to talk about it more in depth. But, so I don't know how deep that feeling goes, but I think, not all people, but quite a few people are afraid of that feeling of out of controlness in relationship and what they'll do when they feel totally out of control. That's why a lot of people put lots of controls on relationships. Just see all this mind stuff coming up about you and move back to presence. So maybe the wanting one is too much at the moment, but just see these thoughts. They're not you, they're not you, they're not you. All these thoughts about yourself, they come and they go. The feelings of pain come and go. It's not you, it's not you, it's not you. It's not you. You are this presence that's right here. but maybe we talk one-on-one. So I don't want you to overexpose yourself on the internet. So I'll move on and we'll talk about it alone.